Wilmington, North Carolina. A place of quiet neighborhoods, warm southern evenings, and people who look out for each other. But for one family, this southern town has become a place of unbearable questions. A place of heartbreak. A place where the unimaginable happened. And it's never been the same since. Exploring the mysterious disappearance of Ebonee Spears. One of the last places she was seen was a police station, seeking help, before vanishing into thin air. Nearly a decade later, her daughter and family still wait for answers, and the community is holding its breath for the truth. Welcome to Dark Matters TV, where we tell each story with love and respect for the victims and their families. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a case. And if you have been with us and yet to subscribe, go ahead. Your support helps us to shade more light to cases that deserve more than silence. January 15, 2016. 30-year-old Ebonee Spears, a daughter, a sister, a mother, walked into a police station looking for help. 10 minutes later, she vanished. Not into a crowd, not on a busy road, but from a police station. Gone, like smoke dissolving in the air. Nearly a decade later, her daughter is still waiting for her mother to come home. Her family is still desperate for answers, and her community is still asking one simple question. What happened to Ebonee Spears? Ebonee Spears was born on May 12, 1985, in Wilmington, North Carolina, to Harriet and Alfonso Spears. The youngest of 4 children, Ebonee was the baby of the family. There were 2 boys, 2 girls, and Ebonee was everyone's favorite. It didn't matter how old she got. She was always doted on by her parents and older siblings. She was, in every sense of the word, the heartbeat of the Spears household. From the very beginning, Ebonee's energy was bright. She was charismatic, funny, full of life, and endlessly curious. She played basketball at New Hanover High School, and it was clear to everyone around her that she was a natural leader. She wasn't the kind of person who faded into the background. She loved people. She was the definition of a social butterfly. Ebonee had dreams of possibly working in healthcare, or maybe even becoming a model. She wanted to travel, to show her daughter the world, to make her family proud. But before those dreams could really take off, life took a sharp turn. At just 17 years old, Ebonee became a mother to a beautiful little girl named Enea. And from that moment on, everything changed. Ebonee wasn't just a devoted mother. She was fiercely protective, determined to make sure Enea had the kind of life that every little girl deserves, full of love, warmth, and security. Everything Ebonee did, from working at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, to helping with Enea's gymnastics, was for her daughter. For a few years, everything was steady. Ebonee's life was full of meaning, filled with family gatherings, birthdays, church events, school milestones. And though she had spent a little time in Georgia exploring modeling, she knew Wilmington was home. It was where her family was. It was where her future would be built. But in the summer of 2015, something shifted. Ebonee's family began noticing changes. Subtle at first. Forgetfulness. Moments of confusion. But soon, it became impossible to ignore. Ebonee was diagnosed with lupus, a cruel and complicated autoimmune disease that brought with it a storm of physical and mental challenges. As if lupus wasn't enough, Ebonee also began struggling with mental health issues, likely made worse by the strain of her diagnosis. According to her family, she began exhibiting signs of paranoia and confusion. She would wander. She wouldn't make sense sometimes. They knew something was seriously wrong, and they were terrified for her. Her mother, Harriet, said later that she was doing everything she could to get Ebonee the help she needed. There were calls to doctors, pleas to get Ebonee into inpatient psychiatric care, efforts to intervene and protect her. But the system, it failed Ebonee. As the months passed, Ebonee's condition worsened. Then came January 14, 2016, the day before she disappeared. Ebonee's family tried one last time to help. That afternoon, they met her outside the Wilmington Police Department. Ebonee seemed confused, but when paramedics arrived to evaluate her, she appeared lucid enough that no one could justify forcing her into care. She walked away that evening, and Harriet prayed, that maybe they could try again the next day. But there would be no next day. On January 15th, Ebonee woke up at her parents' home, ate breakfast with them, and later that evening called to cancel plans with her dad for dinner. It was the last known phone call she would ever make. Later that night, Ebonee was seen walking down Nixon Street, near the local Boys and Girls Club. She flagged down a van carrying a social worker and asked for a ride to the police station. The driver obliged. Ebonee arrived at the Wilmington Police Department for the second night in a row. She was confused. She didn't seem well. She asked to use the telephone. She didn't seem to do much with the telephone, and then she walked out. Alone. Into the dark. Around 10:45 p.m., Ebonee was seen around her house asking a neighbor if she could borrow a cigarette. When he declined, she simply said she'd walk to the store. What happened next is a black hole of uncertainty. Telling true crime stories isn't just about creating content. It's about understanding the failures, the warning signs, and the moments when systems break down, so that tragedies like this don't keep repeating. As we continue to uncover the chilling disappearance of Ebonee Spears, take a moment to subscribe. Your support helps us shine a light on stories like this. Stories that deserve answers, deserve justice, and deserve to never be forgotten. Her boyfriend went to her apartment later that night and found her purse inside, but her phone was missing. Calls to her phone went straight to voicemail. It was as if the earth itself had opened up and swallowed her whole. The next morning, Harriet and Alfonso reported her missing. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. Search teams combed the neighborhoods. Flyers were stapled to telephone poles. Her face flashed on the news. The Wilmington Police Department launched a formal investigation, working alongside organizations like the Seawee Center for Missing Persons. Nothing. Not a trace. Her family refused to give up. They organized prayer vigils. They worked with investigators. They plastered social media with appeals for information. But leads went cold. Every year since, Ebonee's family has marked January 15th with both dread and determination. Dread for the memory of that final day, and determination that somehow, someway, they'll get answers. Detective Kevin Childress of the Wilmington PD has said that there's no indication Ebonee intended to run away. She was a mother who loved her child, a woman struggling with serious health challenges, who needed care, not abandonment. And here's the truth that makes this case sting even deeper. Black women like Ebonee often don't get the media coverage they deserve. Their cases fall through the cracks. Their names fade from the headlines. But Ebonee Spears matters. Her life mattered. Her story matters. As we sit here today, nearly a decade later, Ebonee's family is still waiting. Her daughter, now grown, still carries the pain of not knowing what happened to her mother. And this community, they're still waiting for the truth. If you have any information about the disappearance of Ebonee Spears, no matter how small, please contact the Wilmington Police Department or submit an anonymous tip through Tip 411. Wilmington Police Department, 910-343-3686/Tip 411. Please share this video. Comment if you knew Ebonee or have heard anything at all. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Your support helps keep these stories alive. Your voice can be the one that makes the difference. This is not just a story. This is someone's mother, someone's sister, someone's child. Ebonee Spears deserves to come home. #Justice for Ebonee, #bring Ebonee home. Until next time, stay safe, stay woke.